Howdy mates, how are we doing? Here's a part 2 video for New Year's Day 2023. Like I said, I still need to get used to saying that. Just a joke before I start this video is I remember 22 like it was yesterday. Get the joke? Okay. Beside the fact, Tom, what I wanted to point out in this video is when any of you ever have a chance to really explore the Myakka River, like go kayaking, this is where it gets a little more narrower, just because we're going much further upriver. And I would say we're probably about another 10-15 miles away from the lower Myakka Lake, which forms part of the Myakka River State Park. So we're not too far away from there. But you may have noticed while doing this little snippet so far is you may have noticed a lot of these shrubs and whatnot that line up along the bank here. Well, for those of you curious enough to know what it is, let's just say that it goes by two different names that are used interchangeably. What you're looking at is known as a coastalplain or a caroliniana willow. And as a matter of fact, it is the only native willow found in the state of Florida. Now, given the nature of the plant, they love soil that has high moisture content. So essentially, you will find them commonly in marshes and even riversides. So, first thing that comes to mind is, why should we really care about them? Well, any of you ever experience headaches frequently? Well, you may think that as soon as you have a headache, you need aspirin. Well, on the subject of aspirin, it is actually derived from willow. Because there's more than one species of willow, of course. So any species of willow has a particular compound that is called Salicin. That's like the natural form. It's usually stored along the bark of the willow tree. But as soon as the salicin is derived and is then mixed with acetyl chloride, as a result, you get, drumroll, aspirin. So medicinally, our willow trees are actually very beneficial. And even our fellow natives, the Seminole, the Calusa, as an example, they would actually use this tree for several different medicinal purposes, especially from the bark. They would use it to help treat fever, headaches, upset stomach, and even nausea. So it's a really good plant. Now, usually this plant blooms as it approaches late winter going into the spring, so it's still going to be a couple more months. But these willow trees actually produce something called catkins. They're like these white flowers that kind of look like feathers. The catkins are essentially they're kind of like the male part of the plant. And then, of course, you didn't have your flowers, which allow the reproduction of them to be possible. But a lot of it also goes by wind dispersal. But they're so distinguished by their leaf shape. They kind of have a lance leaf shape, as you can see right here. And usually the veins, let's see. Hold on. They kind of alternate on one another, or between one another. So they're not directly opposite of each other. Rather, think of it this way. Like, okay, you have this live oak, right? Notice how the limbs, they're not necessarily directly opposite of each other. So you have one down here, and then as soon as you go on the other side, you have one up here. So it alternates, like a ladder, in a sense. So that's my way of putting it, at least. But yeah, that's a piece on the Coastalplain Willow. And we've actually reached a part of the river where we actually get to see a bit more of the saw palmetto as well. Another common upland plant that makes up the state of Florida. As a matter of fact, they are also used medicinally too, especially from the fruit. It is said that the saw palmetto berries, despite their very tart taste, they are apparently used as medicine to help with prostate health for men. So in a sense, they kind of act as a vitamin. So I tell you what, nature is freaking cool. Just because a lot of our pharmaceuticals, at least some of them, are directly derived from the natural world. So it does make you think, like, of course, these types of habitats are worth protecting, as they can indeed help our health. Not just mentally, but also physically, emotionally, and even spiritually, too. Nature has so many gifts to offer, and I just feel that it is my part to really interpret that for all of you. So, all right. Take care, you guys. Hope you all have enjoyed your New Year's Day. And Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.